Springfield. And since then, you may have seen him out and about. I think he's gunning for the title of Mr. Springfield, but he currently serves as the executive director of the Community Activation Network. And today he's here to talk about what's quickly become Springfield's largest event, the Block Party. But he's got some fun other ideas too. So I'm excited for today's presentation, and then I'll turn it over to you.
Yay! We're all going. Okay. Hi, y'all. Thank you so much. The people in the room, the people out there online. Where is the camera? Is there a camera? It's right there. Okay. Thank you to the City Club for having me, for Paige fit me in with the opportunity to come down and speak to you today. I love Springfield so much, and I know you all do too, which is what makes this kind of chat very easy. We are here to tell the story of a city that is gritty, determined, hardworking, kind of likes being the underdog, and also really isn't afraid of having nice things that we can all enjoy. I'll skip to the conclusion, which is to say that the best thing that Springfield has is gathering together. And I have seen consistently conversations around the block party and around what we do, all referencing things like some of the events we're going to talk about today, places like Roaring Rapids, like community events where we all get to come together. That is truly what we love the most. And I think that that has been the catalyst behind how the block party has stepped into a lovely success in the last few years. So without giving too much away, I'll jump in right here. Let's press the correct button. Fantastic. Hey, there it is. 2025. So 7th annual technically. We did skip 2020. I don't know what that was about. And this is early in the evening. Things are really just starting to get going energetically. This shot is incredible. My friend Kelly Lyon did this shot. You can see Ken being repainted or being finished. You can see our title sponsor in the booth right there in the bottom. And you can see the main block around which we have mentally focused our redevelopment in Springfield, this 1300 block, right? Bonnie talks about it in her interview at the block party, which you can find on our YouTube channel. Shameless plug, there'll be a lot of this. And it's just so special that this captures, I think, a little bit of everything. So who am I? If you can't put two and two together, you don't know that's ice hockey. Some of you may have heard of it. When I'm not doing the block party, I'm also an ice hockey official. I'm a father, and I used to own a yoga studio. I still have the space, but we closed that last year so I could focus full time on the block party and getting to spend time with you guys here. My background is in small business management, specialty coffee, mindfulness-based fitness, i.e. yoga. So if you guys want to do a quick sun salutation, I can fit that in as well, but it's, different audience. I am not an event producer by trade, and even really in training either. By accident, I've wandered into this thing. In 2022, I raised my hand to take over when David and Nita were looking to hand it off to somebody else. And I said, well, I don't want it to stop, so I'll take it. And 5 years later, we have 12 to 15,000 people, 140 vendors who are coming down to this event every September. Okay, so really the big question for you, and then I'm gonna throw this out to the audience. For those that are online, I'll repeat some of the answers that I hear, but this is the Q&A portion, not the Q&A portion. This is the pop quiz portion of the presentation. What is the Springfield Block Party? I'll tell you that there are probably no wrong answers, so I can't guarantee it because I don't know you guys that well yet. Anybody got something for me?
It's a community gathering.
Community gathering, right? Yeah. At its most base level, it is community gathering together. It doesn't have to happen in the middle of the ODOT highway that we closed to do so, but it helps, right? To have a big space, especially in the center of where our heart is in downtown. Other answers. What is a Springfield Block Party?
Family oriented.
Family oriented. From the beginning, this was really important to us. We needed it to be free. We needed it to be accessible. Oh, I just gave another answer. We needed it to be accessible to to families and to everybody in our community. So as a priority, we kept it that to start. And then obviously what's great is that we have both, teenagers coming down, hanging out. We have a young adult crowd that now likes to recreate in downtown Springfield later in the evening. I'm not at that stage of my life anymore, but it is cool to see the young adults hanging out in downtown after dark safely. So we have created this event that is for the whole community, but also focuses on family centered first. Other answers?
One way to highlight downtown business like that.
Oh my gosh, it started with the businesses. I mean, and that really was the original nexus behind the block party, right? David wanted to make sure that the businesses on that particular block were getting the recognition that they rightfully deserve. I am in downtown Springfield because of the Washington Cafe. And there's a very short story. I'm not gonna tell it, but I like coffee. I ended up at the cafe. I opened a yoga studio. Now I run Springfield Block Party. It's literally that complicated. So I'm there because of the energy that people have put into that block, and we want those businesses to succeed. Because the energy, the family, the people that come to downtown Springfield, they've got it right. They're there for a reason. They're the right kind of people to build the future of this community around, and we're very excited to help focus them. Other answers?
Celebration of the city.
It's a celebration. I call it the economic revitalization celebration, right? Like it is the hard work that we've done over the past couple decades to bring our energy into a center point. We look at other towns in Oregon, other towns in the Pacific Northwest that have more old buildings and more fun stuff in their downtowns, but we believe in our city and with the same passion that some of those other cities don't quite fully understand yet, right? And so we're trying to bring that energy together in one place. Having a focus downtown really matters. But there are so many pieces of Springfield that come together to make that energy true. And it's not just about downtown, it's about the whole community rebuilding itself in different ways. I say rebuilding, we've always been here, but like reimagining what we can be. Other things. Any actual literal practical things that happen at the block party? Does anybody know what happens at the block party?
I do.
CJ, go ahead.
I'd say I know about it.
You know, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Wilders Community Theater had the cleanest bathrooms at the last block party.
Clean bathrooms are hard to come by. Thank you for opening up to the public. I really appreciate that. Those porta potties are expensive, so the more downtown facilities you use, I appreciate it.
It was clever.
No, I like it. Absolutely correct. The Wilders Community Theater happened to have some incredible music last year. A Performing Arts Center in the heart of downtown. We need them as much as they need us, right? And we gotta do it together. What else happens at the block party? There is some sort of bowl, you can ride it. I think the bowl operator went a little easy on me, but I swear, I made it 8 seconds, so.
Very popular.
All right, so we are the largest free party in Lane County. Still standing, right? I'm not saying that there haven't been other larger parties, that there aren't larger parties that you can pay to get into or volunteer your arm and leg to be a part of every year. But we are the largest free party in Lane County. We are one night in a historic downtown with free. We have over 140 partners that we've worked with over the years. It is built by locals for locals. Now, I'm not originally from here, but I had been in Oregon since, well, I had a brief stint between 2000 and 2007. I left for a few years. I got to my senses, came back to the West Coast where I belong, and have been in Springfield ever since, right? Or been in Union ever since. I moved to Springfield in 2020 after I started the yoga studio down here. We create memories for kids. We're placemaking for adults, right? It's not just that we are family friendly. It gives you a pride of place. We have 7 years of success. Pick a business that is open and enthusiastic. They set a record every year. Planktown, first, second, third best day ever, block party. Main Street Market, block party. Like, does that one day make it a year-round business? No. But does it help tell the story for why and remind people to come back the next Friday and the Friday after that and the Tuesday after that? Yes. We do have live music on multiple stages. We're still looking for one stage sponsor, shameless plug. We think there's about 15,000 people that show up. I'd really like some help counting. I don't know how to do that, and I don't have the resources to pay somebody to do it. So, you know, that's one thing that would really help us when it comes to TLT funding, when it comes to getting Oregon Cultural Trust grants, things like that. Continue a tradition of gathering. We're gonna talk about that later. And we really do believe that this is an area that's not being served by current organization. Not to say that there aren't great events and things happening in Springfield. There are a lot of them. Some of them are in this room, right? But we are doing something that is uniquely in between all of those doors. We're gonna talk about that more later. We do close the highway. People ask me why I do the block party, so I can drink a beer in the middle of the highway. That's my reason. You can have different reasons, but that's the one that I sit on. And I think that we are a catalyst for the future of the momentum around Springfield. We are not the be all and end all of it, we just happen to be riding that wave. Okay, so if you build it, they will come. What you see here are community organizations, their best outreach day. The Diaper Bank, for example, or Children's Museum. Large organizations, large sponsors, operational support has been growing. Last year, we finally secured our title sponsor. Team, we have one full-time volunteer, that's me. We have one part-time volunteer. Now, I am sort of a contractor in a way, and I can explain all that to somebody else, but essentially, we do not have capacity building funds. So right now, it's just 2 people, 1.5 people, technically, that do the year round. And then a mountain of volunteers that help us and help all of you do your booths and things at the block party the day of, right? Which is how a festival should be, right? We do believe that we have a huge investment from some small business, and businesses that come down there and really want to be there. Consistently, year after year, it's been pretty cool to see the people that want to be there are the small businesses, right? Oh, I'm looking at that. I've got it right here in front of me. And these are our numbers. We think 500 to 15,000 over the course of 7 years. I'm gonna tell you the truth, y'all, they're gonna keep coming. So I keep building the party faster, not necessarily because I'm fully comfortable with the rate at which we're growing, but because people are gonna continue to come and enjoy this thing, to talk about it, the story about it. The number of times I hear people say, oh, the block party, I haven't made it yet, but I'm definitely coming this year. And there is this energy that's happening. We think 1.33 million impressions, and this is an actual number that I calculated using real analytics, for my social, for my banners, for my in-person, for my blog posts, all of that. This is how many sponsor impressions we delivered last year. So I'm pretty proud of that number. I don't know why. Again, somebody who's smarter than me that does this kind of stuff could help me. We're helping to put Springfield back on the map, and I think that it's getting some traction. This is 2022. I play this game every time. I know I did this the other day, but I play the game. Who do I know in this photo? We can play it. If you see people you know, feel free to shout them out. This tall guy right here, his name's Jake. He and I play hockey together. Definitely put him in the comment box a couple of times. Good guy, diesel mechanic, forest fighter guy. Like, he loves Springfield so much, and he's down here, right? 2023, my friend Billy in the background, he's over there by the bounce house. He's also one of the ice hockey referees. This was like, whoa, it got a little big. And in fact, this got the city's attention. In 2023, they were like, we should actually figure out how to pay for the street closure because it's a bit of a thing now. People are needing to be a little bit safer. Really more than anything, the community didn't ask for permission. They just showed up. They just kept coming because they thought, hey, we like this, we want to be there too. In 2024, we estimated 10 to 12,000 people got OSHA involved. They're finally, they were about to open, very exciting. Local breweries, food vendors. I was talking with Jeff. I'm not saying that Jeff decided to open in downtown Springfield because of the block party, but he did come to the block party in 2023, right before he signed a lease on a property, right? So again, the energy of the whole thing is pulling people in a compelling way. Downtown businesses really stopped worrying about the street being closed and started focusing on more how they could take advantage of this great public facing opportunity. Side note, and I know this is being recorded, but in 2024, Eugene called and asked if he would politely move our party to a different day. I thought that was the greatest compliment I ever received. It was a scheduling issue and we worked it all out. I'm happy to talk more about that, but here's the thing, there's so many limited days in which we can do things that it's tough. We're all competing for the same amount of attention, and especially in the summer, there's a reason September works. And so we're very lucky to have September as our day. And then again, I showed you this photo, but this is 2025, where we think there were 12 to 15,000 people approximately milling about between 4 and 10 p.m. It's great because it comes in waves. The kids and the families with small kids come down early, and then you see the school-age children coming out a little bit later, and then you see like multi-generational families coming out and hanging out, and then you see the evening start to transition into music and dancing and the younger crowd. We were very lucky to have a Friday that we get to share with Herencia Hispanic. And Antonio has been so incredibly supportive of us coming down and being a part of his night. They started doing their event at Springfield many years ago. And then they started doing it in the plaza because it was all about gathering together and a place for the Hispanic community to gather in the city around Mexican Independence Day. And they've continued to grow their events, and we feel very delighted that they welcome us. We get to share some resources. You can see in the bottom left and the bottom right, two different bands that we've booked that were there to play Herencia, that also played the block party. And so we get to, you know, those artists get to perform twice in one night. We get to support them, which is a really cool resource. I do the traffic control plan for both events, so we share that resource. You know, there's other ways that we're partnering to help grow, and other ways we like to partner with other events. And we couldn't do it without Selco. It's important to say that, you know, we needed a title sponsor for many years. We finally landed that plane last year. They signed up for 3 years. We're happy to give them right of first refusal on the next 3 after that. Olivia really truly believes in this event. She lives in the Washburn district. Her husband works for El Rafa. Like they're invested, both credit union and individuals in the event. So we're very lucky to have them. If you saw us at the opening ceremonies there last year, you'll know that I struggle to talk sometimes. In their words, all the familiar Springfield faces. The setup, especially the map, was super easy to understand and implement. The party was well thought out and impressively planned. We had so many community members share stories with us about how they've interacted with or been supported by CASA. This is CASA, right? Who would know that CASA would come to the block party and have it be a very productive evening? Main Street being open to the people of Springfield and beyond to have fun and be safe. I think we're the first event in a very long time to close Main Street for pedestrians, right? We had the cruise, we had the parade, and you can walk around and that kind of stuff, but this is for just people to walk around, hang. Seriously, with the people both younger and older. Love the vibe, number of attendees, general energy this community spirit delivers. The sheer, oh, I typed that wrong, it says sheer volume. The sheer volume of people at the event. Appreciated the extra help and friendliness of the volunteers. We took vital signs on well over 100 people. Vital signs at the block party. I mean, their heart rate might be a little bit up because of the bounce house or that beer or that corn dog, but hey man, that's an incredible resource, right? We have people doing CPR. We have people connecting different at-risk youth with services. This is another example of why Springfield is a great place to live. How cool that we can safely connect and celebrate our town together at a fun and dynamic event. So all those things you said earlier, that's what people are saying, vendors are saying, participants are saying about the block party. And here's where I have to belabor the point. We do it for free, right? It doesn't cost anyone that attends the block party anything. Well, they gotta buy the beer and whatnot, but like the festival is free and accessible. The best sales day, we close a highway, multiple states, largest single outreach day for some of these nonprofits. It creates a regional draw. I know people that come from Roseburg, people that come from Albany, people that come from Lawrence. Heck, I think somebody told me that their friend who used to live in Springfield timed her visit home from Boise to come to the block party. And that's a huge compliment, right? That you would choose to spend your time with us when you're coming here and home to visit your family. So, a quick question, and does anybody know, well, maybe I should phrase it. Does anybody know who the Springfield Block Party is? I've already kind of told you it's me, but also who else is it? These are my yard signs, by the way. Has anybody seen a yard sign out and about? Yeah. I think it's hilarious, but not everybody understands. Who are the participants in the block party?
You were there.
Chamber is there, right? Yep, absolutely.
Community.
The community, absolutely, right? We need people to come to it, otherwise it wouldn't happen. It's for Springfield, it's not for music festival goers or artisan vintage craft fair goers, but it is for those people who do those things as well, right? Who else? Performing arts organizations, we mentioned Wildlife.
Kids.
Kids, absolutely. All right. So more importantly, and who you don't know, is Community Activation Network. We are a newly formed 501c3, as in last year. Around this time, I created this charity. When we took over the block party, we didn't intend to start the charity. Like, again, the fact that I happened into this thing by accident, there are clues along the way. Like, I ran it through the yoga studio the first year as a separate business expense line, right? We took in $7,000, we spent $7,000. The yoga studio hosted the first block party, right? I smartly formed the separate company in 2023 that then took over the organization of the block party, and that's good because they closed the yoga studio. So, and then people are like, we need to be able to give donations. And I was like, we're not ready yet. We don't quite know what our mission is. We don't know where our vision, we don't know where we're going yet. I didn't want to force another community building organization into the already challenging landscape for funding the great work that we do here. And so when I created Community Activation Network, we still have a broad mission, right? We'll talk about a little bit what that looks like. But Community Activation Network as a mission generally creates free in-person events that activate public spaces, support small organizations, and foster civic engagement and local collaboration while building community. They're all buzzwords and phrases. You all probably do those things as well through your organization or volunteers, or if your organization that you support and donate to, right? There's a little bit of all of that in what we can count as the largest free celebration, Springfield Block Party. We're working year round to facilitate third place activation in our communities by partnering with local civic service and for-profit entities at the intersection of their placemaking, outreach, and philanthropic goals. That's what I put on my grant applications, which I need to do a few more of those. I have done 3. What does that mean? This means we want to work with other organizations that do the good work of building community and support their goals as well. It's not either or, it's a rising tides, all boats situation where we can build a better Springfield and envision that through the nonprofit work that we do. Right there at the top on the left, Wildish Theater. Emerald Art Center, Arts Council, Library and History Museum, civic entities that we work with, City of Springfield, University of Oregon, Lane Transit District, Springfield Utility Board, the Chamber, Onward Eugene, business marketing, corporate philanthropy, arts and culture grantors, club and nonprofit awareness, Rotary, city, etc. Right? We're here. And then the Main Street businesses, the food and beverage vendors, the artist vendors, 501c3 outreach partnership in place, right? Our vision is a vision where Lane County, a Lane County where Springfield, you heard that right, leads the way, not for size, but for what community can actually feel like. I think we all know that is true inherently in many ways, right? Not saying Eugene doesn't have it, not saying that Florence and Oak Ridge and all that don't have it as well, but we want to be a standard there, where purpose draws people and investment organically. Belonging is for everyone, and the future generations inherit a downtown that is made stronger because neighbors choose to come together. None of this is mind-blowing or outside of the scope of what we already do on a random Thursday. Is it Thursday? It's Thursday, right? This is what we already do well in Springfield. I just want to make sure that we're doing it together. So what are the ways that we can do that? Well, we're a foundation for growth, right? We want to be that structural substance that people can build on. We're at the base. We are the canvas on which people create their stories, whether it's a small business launching its food truck at the block party, an actor or a musician gaining confidence through their street performances to go out and put themselves on stage, somebody throwing away their inhibitions and singing karaoke in the middle of the street, or a kid getting to experience what it means to just be together in community. We're a nonprofit support network. I keep talking about the diaper bank because Teresa's the best and they do incredible work that it needs to be supported, but they have their best outreach day through the block party. Not because people are coming there to pick up diapers, but because people who didn't know that the diaper bank existed might get a little bit of a lifeline through something like wandering by and learning about these services. We want to be an arts and culture partner. I got lots of great ideas, but so do you. And I just want to help make sure that those concerts, those shows, those engagements happen in ways. If anybody can get me in touch with a marching band or mariachi band at Springfield High School, or any of the performing arts groups from the high schools to perform with the block party. I know September stuff, but gosh, I really want it to be Springfield musicians that are out there busking on the streets, making a couple bucks, having a good time. I did it in high school at a place like this. And it was just the world to me to get to do summer concerts on the patio playing jazz in high school. It made a big difference. And we want to make sure that there's economic development support, right? So I don't want to be the economic development engine. That's not my job. You know, the chamber has their focus and their goals, and Onward has its focus and its goals. We want to be placemaking activation building, but we want to make sure that there's an economic development agent angle to that. I'm excited to hear about the potential large developments happening in downtown Springfield. Do we think those large developments wouldn't have happened without the good work that the city council and the attorneys and the downtown business owners have put in over the last 10 years? And or a pretty cool, incredible celebration that has generated a lot of goodwill for that, right? So we do believe that we can be all of these things and the glue that is between them. There's a negative space about what all of us do, and community activation wants to step into the middle and make sure we're all doing it together. Hence the name network. Now, I recently learned about another nonprofit that has a very similar name, and don't get us confused. A really quick aside, and I already harped on this a little bit earlier, but 2 private citizens produce this event, right? We have thousands of hours of plotting, planning, dreaming, and an army of volunteers. My 17-year-old daughter jokes, how long will it take Dad to start talking about the block party? And it's like 3 minutes. Depends on who I'm talking to, right? Like we get home and we debrief about, you know, my wife at the county, and we debrief about everything that's happened on the block party on any given day. So we're not employed by the city of Springfield. And it's the greatest compliment. I went to the Rotary Club last week and they said, "Oh, you're from the chamber?" Nope. And again, I take it with a positive light, right? We are so honored that you might think that that's what we do. We're not the Parks and Recreation District, right? Or cultural services, because one, we don't have cultural services outside of the library. The library does an incredible job of doing what they do at the city with the limited resources they have, right? Or the Downtown Business Association, right? Springfield doesn't have a downtown business association, we have a change, right? But like, let's talk about Beaverton, let's talk about Bellingham, let's talk about some of these other cities. Even Eugene has DEI. We don't have one of those yet, and we're not employed by those people. Now, some of those organizations co-locate salaries to do the exact job that I do. The city of Beaverton, I'm just gonna get off on a tangent. The city of Beaverton has a night market, happens once a year-ish or so, about 14,000 people come to that event. The city of Beaverton does the night market, right? And so like, just a comparison and example, again, we'll talk about some of those a little bit later. All right, so here it is. Can anybody tell me that doesn't already know or would like to guess what is happening in this photo downtown Springfield?
First block party.
It's the first block party. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Circa 1910, he's floating. We're tracking. This is the streetcar arriving in downtown Springfield for the first time. Yeah, right? We had a streetcar. I know. We had some cool bridges too. I just love this. I love Maddie. I love the History Museum. Look at that light up there. That light is so cool. We have history of cool lights in Springfield, right? Shoppers Paradise. They shut down the street. It was a parade. All the businesses did deals. This is a photo from 1947, but I believe it went on for a very long time. The Springfield High School Spanish Club, I believe this was at an event. We do believe this was the 1940s based on the regalia. Spring Fest was a Springfield High School event, so I guess like prom or something like that. I don't know anything about it, right? These are the kid king and queens or whatever. They're also our teenage king and queens. But here they're setting up the like dome behind it, like 1947, right? Shoppers Paradise again, 1957, so over 10 years later. The Broiler Festival kicks off in 1957 at Willamette Park. This is the flyer from that event, for the second year, sorry, in 1858. In the forties, this guy's name's Hap something or another, dug it up in the museum archives. He must have been some special celebrity that came from somewhere, because there's pictures of him throwing axes, pictures of him doing this thing that's called the thing that I don't know about, trees. And like, it's just so cool to see the community around these things, and these are just clues that we can get from looking at photos. The Northern Festival continued well into the 1980s. This is the museum's booth at the Northern Festival in 1980, Springfield History Museum. How many of us knew we had a museum, right? You all know, but I recently learned about it, right? A couple years ago. Summer Parade, 1980. I can't tell if that child has a gun or if it's a fishing rod or what it is. Might be holding on. Christmas Parade, you can see they got out their umbrellas. That's how you know it's Christmas Parade. 1982, oldest and coldest still going on, right? Pretty incredible we still have that. Filbert Festival, I was just talking with Jay Zink before I came here. I'm all keyed up because I'm talking events, right? He said he helped start that with a woman that helped start Oregon Country Fair. It lasted about 10 years or so. Started in 1990. They had a king and queen nut, I believe. Every food booth had a hazelnut filbert in it of some kind, right? This is a picture at Island Park in 2000, obviously a concert going on or something like that. Pretty incredible. We have a history together. So what is the block party then? Springfield's a block party, attracts 15,000 Oregon and hopefully regional residents and over 140 businesses, nonprofits, and civic partners who come together to celebrate economic growth, arts, culture, and community. All the things you guys said earlier. Connect with your neighbors, business leaders, and elected officials over craft food and beverages in the middle of Main Street, USA. Springfield's the Block Party is an annual showcase of revitalization and community building in the county. One magical night, many years in the making. Very proud of that. And there it is. This one's from last year as well. You can see the mechanical bull in the foreground. When we started, we had just 4th Street. Right, we actually just started on the 300 block and then we took it into 4th Street. And this is from 7th all the way down to East Pioneer. And there are as many people at 7th as there are at East Pioneer at this time. This year we're going to 8th. Like I said, we need a little more space. We're just trying to spread out. Yeah. Okay. How do we get there? In 2022, we had 1 block, 1 bounce house, and a road closed sign, 3,000 people. How do we become Pickathon? Do we want to become Pickathon? Pickathon is a music festival, happens in Happy Valley. They have about 12,000 people per day that show up there. They got a lot of space to work with, right? A little bit different. It started in 1999. It's an incredible experience. Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, this is my favorite one. Kennett Square has a population of about 6,000 people in that township itself. 100,000 people show up to the World International Mushroom Festival over the course of 2 days. Same weekend in September, so I can't go check it out. But it looks really cool. They have a 40-year history. They're still going strong. They have a chamber, a business association, and city support, right? In the ways that they do it. Downtown Sound. I was talking to Jay Zink. Jay Zink used to work downtown Sound for Bigfoot in Bellingham. 20 years, they do a 5-week series of concerts in downtown Bellingham. When people talk about the reason they live in Bellingham, the weather's not so great, 9 months out of the year, right? We know about that. But they love things like this. This is the reason that people want to move to places like Bellingham. So how do we get there? What is the difference? Well, here's kind of a chart of where we are and where we'd like to go. The house kind of still being created. We're one event, we're 1 day a year. We want to support year-round internal and external events, right? Not just ours. Our flagship event's really cool. We're really proud of it. Other people have really good ideas. Other events have been ongoing for many years. We'd like to either resurrect them or reinvent them with support. We have sponsor and partner revenue funding one event. And that's literally every year. Most of my time is spent fundraising. And I don't mind talking to people. I love talking about the block party. I'm really not that great at sales, to be honest, guys. I just talk enthusiastically about things that I love. I want to create national, regional, foundation-based revenue, right? Primarily, it's me working alone. We would like to lift our arts and culture partners in the area doing things together. Currently one full-time volunteer slash contractor. We'd love to have permanent staff. I'm currently looking for capacity building funding so I can stand up both myself, but also some real support with, GIS, mapping and planning, some logistics coordination, some, donor development stuff. We're a proven local model. We would like to become a model for cities and counties to emulate. We want people to come to the block party and go, yeah, how can we do this, right? We just, we spend some time going out and checking out other places. The chamber does that kind of stuff, right? It's really cool. I want to come here too. And not just for Tracktown, not just for whatever, but to see how a community-based festival can really function and build the future of community. We do have deep community trust. People love the block party. People will come up to me all the time and go, oh, I love the block party. Go here. Really? Yeah, I'm always surprised, right? We want the civic and economic partnership at that center, right? We need the businesses and the civic entities here to believe in it the way that the community already knows it to be true. And it's not to say that they don't, just a longer process, longer runway to get there. The block party is one night only. I have a firm belief that this event can turn into a regional flagship week-long festival. Now, what its main draw is, I don't quite know. I don't necessarily want to be a music festival. There are plenty of those. But Southwest by Southwest used to be a music festival, right? Now it's so much more. Now, we might not have the technology and the innovation, and we're certainly not Austin by any stretch, but there's a reason that Lane County can grow this event into something that people are going to want to come to, and I haven't quite put my finger on what that is yet. I know that idea is out there. And primarily, obviously, we serve Lane, Lynn, Benton, and Douglas County. We're considered a local event. Again, if I could get TLT funding, I would bend over backwards. I can kind of bend over backwards, but it hasn't got me the funding there. We would like to center Springfield on a national stage. Not Eugene. No offense to Eugene. Lane County, we want Springfield to be the name that they think of. People love Springfield. It's just a great name. It's a great town. We can cash in on the Simpsons. We can do whatever we need to do to make sure that people understand there's a reason that we all choose to be here, right? So this is where we are. This is where we're going. I believe that if we can do it together, we will absolutely get there. Springfield was Oregon's fastest growing city in the last decade, right? We hear the mayor say it at the State of the City. We hear it referenced by the chamber all the time. This has happened before. We've had festivals and events that have had this competitive draw. We're not dreaming big. We're catching up. Here's what we need. And I think you all already know the answer, but we need community foundations for that capacity building, economic development, community building mess. We need civic partnership, honest and candid conversations about working together with entities that already exist and believe in the event, but finding creative ways to get there. And I know we're in a really tough time right now. So don't get me wrong. This year's an incredible challenge. Next couple of years are an incredible challenge. I understand that. We're ready to have the conversation so that when things look a little brighter, it's a little easier to move forward. We need corporate philanthropy, right? And we have a lot of incredible organizations that do most of the giving in this community, right? Are there ways we can both grow our relationship with those entities, but also create new opportunities for organizations that want to give back to Springfield and help invest in their employees and their communities so that they can continue to build their future here, right? And then we need arts and culture funders, those people that have great ideas and ideas of how to put them into action. We want to help make sure whether that money comes to the block party, for the block party, or to other events. I missed out on the AMP music series grant. That would have been an incredible thing to apply for. It's happening in Portland. The drummer from Pearl Jam and Soundgarden is going to be playing. Man, how did I not get that? We'll work it out. But we need people who are investing, who are proud to live here and believe in the community in that way. So stand-up funding gives us time to build those lasting relationships, working smarter to reduce overhead, right? Overlap, increase shared resources, co-locate funding for shared goals. Things don't always have to happen by me. Arts and culture bring people together. They give them a reason for people to connect here and be here, right? we want to be a future community that isn't so stuck in our phones and stuck in our, give people a reason to come together. And then we want to truly be able to give back to that community and help with the future. So here's the chamber's largest ribbon cutting in history. I think by dimension and maybe number of people, not really sure how we measure, but we're not very good at measuring things. This was so fun. And you can see like just the looks on these people's faces. That is everybody at the block party for their own reasons. Whether they're riding the mechanical bull, bouncing the bounce house, getting the corn dog, everybody has this level of joy and delight to be in Springfield. Tammy Ingles, Drew husband, grew up in Springfield, and every time he sees me, says, I just love the block party. I love it so much. I'm from here. I'm so proud of my town. He's just beaming with pride. And even those of us that arrived more recently, right, are so proud. So here's the thing. Just more, we're growing in our Springfield community. People, it's awesome to think about at work. They're getting already conversation or organizations willing to give. I'm not trying to take from one entity to build mine. I want to share the resources so we can all succeed together, right? And that means someone who has ideas for culture can happen. I mean, that's a pretty vision for something that could happen, like a tricycle race or a pig wrestling race or a rodeo or a car show or something like that. Like I want it to happen. You know, I'm talking with Jay Zink about bringing back the Broiler Festival, talking with the future of an auto company here about the potential bringing back elements of the cruise and the car festival. Like there's a history. We want to bring it all together. So if you have ideas, I love ideas. In case you forgot, my name is Ben Wilkinson. 5 minutes is great. Benjamin Springfield Block Party, 503-828-2630. That is a phone number. I know it's a 503 area code. I'm sorry. My wife's number is 541. She's been here since 1994. So, if that helps. But yeah, that is the short version. More importantly, I think I want to hear from you.
Tell me about the Boiler Festival. What is it? I don't know anything about it.
Well, I'm learning too about the history of events. The Broiler Festival, I think a few different organizations owned it over the years. The chamber might have had it for a little while. I know the Rotary Club was in control of it when it ended, I believe unceremoniously because of an incident, but I don't know the full story on that. So, it sounds like it was a summer gathering where people set up in the park, they set up in the streets, and they just did fun activities. People had booze. There was a very famous chicken bake or broiled chicken, right? Yeah, so they were chicken broilers. And that was really the big draw. It was like, oh, let's go down and eat chicken and hang out and talk to people. I assume beer as well. Yeah, CJ, can you speak to that a little bit? And also, you have a question?
Pretty good, yeah. I have a ton of questions.
Okay.
Since we're increasing it by 1 block, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
We should go farther down the street, or we'll be okay.
Yeah.
And it's a political season.
Sure.
Will political people who are running for office in the November election be afforded spaces as well?
No. The short answer is our policy adopted by our board does not allow for single issue voter outreach or single issue outreach as well as political candidates. So, yeah.
No problem. Have you ever approached the the BFWs, am I getting that right, who does the broiler chicken?
No, I have not,
They
no.
might be willing to.
When do they do that? They do that Memorial Day and then
Fourth of July.
4th of July. Do they do it Veterans too?
They do it.
They do
I used
Veterans.
to do it 3 or 4 times a year, but
Okay.
that might be a potential resource if they would bring their equipment.
Equipment,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be
And you
a
have
great
a
opportunity.
boiler festival aspect to the block party.
Right, exactly. And is there any, challenge opportunity with the broiler festival versus the chicken VFW broiler event? Like, certainly something worth navigating, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's worth an ask.
Yeah.
But
No, great idea, thank you.
I have more questions.
Oh, well, how about we go over here first?
So I guess I was looking at the economics, you have money coming in. The cost to the city in terms of, waste,
Correct.
things like that, is how is the city compensated for that?
The city has gone out of their way to be very generous, and the city has also not provided me with any clear information on the answer to your question. So what I can tell you is that there is only one entity in the city of Springfield that is capable of shutting down the streets. And, despite my efforts to find a contractor to do so, they were like, no, unfortunately, I think we need to do it for safety reasons. And so I believe the city manager's office holds all of that information. I have never received a sort of line item explanation for the costs and or the opportunity to figure out how to pay for it. So, at this point, our relationship with the city is a generous gift and kind contribution, but also they do not pay in any way, any cash, substantive cash. Team Springfield has made contributions to the block party in the past, which is, the Langley, the city, the school district, and sort of pooling a small amount of money to help the block party out, but the CMO and city management hasn't offered me really any direct compensation to help put the party on. I wish I had a better answer. I'd love one. I've asked many times.
So in terms of counting,
Mhm.
is there a way to do 2 points of entry, one at East Pioneer Parkway and one at 10th Street, so you can have people just come through and then town?
I definitely think there's a way to have people down there with, collecting information. The problem is that it would be imprecise at best. Given the nature of our downtown and especially that the South A remains open and that A Street is kind of oblique and then we have Herencia happening at the same time. We haven't put together what that true like methodology would be to truly collect the data. I don't even know how to do that, right? Like whether it's, what's it called, Pacer, the cell phone tower pinging data, the way Lane County does it at the fairgrounds. I know that there is data that they can sort of like get based on the number of cell phones that are in a certain area, but I don't even know if we can do that in downtown Springfield and where I would get that data. Yes.
Related to that,
Mhm.
have you talked to Traveling County
Yes.
about using
That?
their ability to use cell phone geolocating data?
I have not talked to Traveling County. Are they people that do that? Okay, good to know. So again, like learn something here today. And I've talked to Traveling County lots and they are gonna choose to participate this year and support us with a small amount of money, which is really appreciated. They're gonna kind of come in at that, like above the booth sponsor level, et cetera. But no, that's good information because while I understand that the nature of TLT funding is evolving in the way that we can put that into place based on some new legislation that's passing and then which cities have what dispensation to do with what and how they use it toward general funds versus other things. I have not yet been given a concrete answer on to how the block party could access TLT funding that is given to the city of Springfield. So while they're enthusiastic about it, I just haven't gotten a clear answer as to what that would look like, where I would collect the data. I had a nice chat last year and somebody said, well, didn't your parents come here from Central Oregon for the block party? And I said, yeah. And they said, well, there's one person or two people staying in one hotel room, So I know it's happening, but it would be nice to get some more connection to what tourism really means to this event and the ways that the city can choose to allocate resources for it. Or not. These are all really good questions. Any other fun questions related to the activities or events that happen at the block party page?
It's been really inspiring, so I'm sorry to bring it out, the hard question, but
Sure.
parking, I'm assuming
Yes.
it's come up quite a bit,
Correct.
especially if you talk about growing
Correct.
the block party. What happened in those conversations, and
Sure.
especially if you think about new development possibly going into downtown Springfield?
Correct. One of the things that's really important to me is that we partner with our local transportation partners to try to build parking rides and other resources that would give people better information both on how to get to the party, but also that there are ways to get there safely. Obviously, there's alcohol involved in the party, we want to keep it safe, and then how to get there from a distance. So far, my attempts to make those connections have fell flat or non-responsive, so at this point, I have lots of good ideas about how to relieve some of that. One transportation thing, to pivot a little bit slightly, that I would love to do is set up a Mackenzie River shuttle that leaves the Mackenzie General Store at its time, maybe twice, comes down, drops people off from the corridor, takes them home at the end of the night. I want rural Lane County and other parts of Lane County connected to this party. And one way to do that might be different resources through LTD or other partners that can help set up those kinds of things. So far, lots of ideas. So far, nobody's reached out to ask for help or respond to my request for help on that. So.
Did you use Booth Kelly's parking lot that,
So we do use Booth Kelly's parking lot. And in fact, we have ideas about what we'd like to do at Booth Kelly, but then we would have less parking. The city does allow us to use that. And the city has welcomed us to use other lots that are not otherwise programmed. The problem is that a lot of those lots now fall within that transportation control plan. And so one thing that's a priority for me this year is to figure out how to set up ADA directed parking. So ADA can have its own designated lot and or entrance to get close to the party. Because we do find that the party's accessible, right? We keep it accessible in the street, but what we can't figure out is how to get people close enough that it makes it easy to walk with, right? So something worth figuring out. And I'm sure there are other transportation partners in the area that have ideas about how to do this. I just need to sort of coordinate one plan around it. We have a lovely engineered street closure, but that's about the extent of our transportation plan at this point. Cascadian Mobility and Peace Health Rights is very supportive through the city of Springfield and LCOG transportation funding. So we do have a bike valet that I believe last year served over 100 bicycles, and is free to use, which is really great. So there is some alternative transportation to the event. It's Sam, right? Got it. I almost sent you an email when I did.
he never responds.
Yeah, yes, you did.
Other questions about fun events at the block party, things that happen, or curiosities about the future?
I like the Citizens Hook.
I do too, right?
And honestly, if you want to be a national, that is a great way because they've been on TV for well over 20 years now.
Right.
And I took a picture of myself from the Emerald Art Center with sitting next to Homer. And I posted it on Facebook and oh my gosh, I can't believe how where is that? I must go there.
Let me tell you a story that Saturday night. People taking photos, not just of the Simpsons mural, but of all of them. And I'll talk to anybody. I'll go up to people and say, hey, pretty cool, huh? Are you looking for more art? And they often respond in a language that is not English. So tourists who are coming from around the world to visit Eugene are looking for something to do and they wander over to Springfield because they know it's related to the Simpsons and they go looking for murals. And we have a lovely map that you can print out online and wander around. And that's great. But could we have a Springfield store that hosted guided tours at least on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the summer? Mission store that then helps to co-facilitate that goal. This is another silly idea that I have, but it could be a value for building that goodwill in the community because they come over here and they have nowhere to land, right? But yes, if anybody has Yardley's number, or their agent, please get me
Yeah,
in
she
contact.
lives there. Yeah, she's
He lives
married.
in Eugene.
She's
Well, I know
married.
about, I know about Detective Dan, right?
Which, is that the right detective? She's married.
It's Dan.
Is he retired now?
I think he
She
is,
fell off the cop, she lives in Eugene, that's all I know.
I
Okay,
do,
yeah, she married a detective.
I do believe he retired so that he could like, work with her on their podcast. If anybody hasn't checked out their podcast, I won't say it on the air, but it's a great podcast.
It's called Small Town Dicks.
Yes.
And it's about detective, because that's a nickname for,
Detective, yeah.
it's a nickname for detective.
Sure.
So anyway, but they do talk about true crime. So
Yeah,
it's-
oh yeah,
So it's interesting if you have an interest in true crime, and they're actually quite funny, so.
yeah. So we would love to connect with The Simpsons and create, if that's the hook, I think it's a good hook. And we could
And
go
well,
there
and
too.
Matt is, I mean, he's the one that you wanna get on
Correct.
board, and he went to school here.
Mhm.
And I mean, I think, I don't know, there's probably licensing things you'd have to talk about and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, I can see
I used to
that
work,
being very lucrative.
yeah, I used to work in downtown Portland and Matt Groening would drive around in a green Lotus that said an hour.
Okay.
I just thought that was incredible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we do believe like that these sort of historical connections, whether it be Filbert, whether it be The Simpsons, whether it be historical events, are part of the conversation going forward. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're not trying to create something new. We're just this, what did I say to Jay this morning? I said, the city sort of cleaning up the streets is the cake. Businesses coming in downtown and investing is the frosting, and the block party is just the cherry on top, right? And we're lucky to be the cherry once a year and show up and be like, hey, this is pretty cool. You guys having a good time? I'm having a good time. Let's keep doing it. But we really want to bring everybody along in that process, whether we do it ourselves or can help co-facilitate existing ideas. We believe that the future of community is in the way that Springfield is currently making it. And that tells the story in and of itself and can be a model for other cities, other communities on how to create a city where you feel a sense of belonging from cradle to retirement.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Have you reached out to the Kesey family at all?
I haven't been able to get connected to the Keeseys beyond having Zane come down. So we invited Zane last year to bring the bus down, which was a delight. And he was stoked. He's coming back this year as well. So the bus will be back this year. And in fact, I was almost able to book, Sam Grisner, to play last year, and I didn't get him because he needed it to be on Thursday. And now he's headlined to the country fair. So, we're like, that's the scope and size of what we're trying to do. Anybody has any connections? Well, I'm not wearing it today. I have a shirt that has a logo on it that says Springfield. It's from the original Springfield Creamery over there off East Pioneer.
Yeah.
And it's the painted logo that was painted on the front of the building. I put it on a shirt just for fun, but if anybody has any creamery connections or, TV Enterprises connections, that'd be really fantastic. Yeah?
We are at time,
Okay,
man.
all right, yeah. Do it.
All right, well, Ben, thank you so much. I don't know if, you guys have heard, but downtown Springfield's hopping. So we're gonna continue on this conversation train, and our next program is actually gonna be the Lane County Farmers Market. Which hopefully you've heard the news, starts up this Sunday, and it's gonna be, here in downtown Springfield. So, we're gonna have a big desk, so keep an eye on your emails, that'll be here in a couple weeks. Thanks all.
I'll see you again, guys.